Hello and welcome back to another video on the Wrestle Debate and to another edition of NXT Out of 10. Halloween Havoc is now in the books and we're back to normal NXT programming for a while, but yeah. Halloween Havoc was interesting series. Personally, I wasn't a huge fan of it, but still going to give it a chance to progress and see where all the storylines go. So let's get straight into it. Mandy Rose kicked off the show and celebrated her title win from last week. She bragged about beating Raquel Gonzalez and revealed her stablemates were beating Zoe Stark backstage. Io Shirai came out to challenge Rose to a match. Rose said she was ready to go and attack Shirai, tossing her out of the ring. Io came back and took Mandy out before Dola and Jane walked out to save Rose. Toxic Attraction was beating out Shirai before Casey, Catanzaro and Kaden Carter walked out to help the former tag champ. Shirai, Carter and Catanzaro took out Toxic Attraction. Cameron Grimes had a brief skip before he showed up to Duke Hudson's poker room, and Duke was looking for an easy win over Grimes. And then there was a confrontation between Dakota Kai and Toxic Attraction before she had a match against Cora Jade. Dakota unloaded on Jade off the bat, sent her to the ropes. Jade fought back and landed on Hurricane Rana. Jade then went for the pin, but Kai managed to get out of it. Dakota landed a thin trademark kick in the corner, taking up a quick win. After the match, Kai dragged Jade by the hair and took out a table as a crown chance and finisher. Kai put the table flat on Jade's face before hesitating and leaving her out on top of the skateboard. I'm going to give this a 7 out of 10. Dakota Kai really being put over. Loving to see it, to be honest. Next up on NXT, MSK was in a short segment, but it continued with the duo missing bus. Kind of weird, but whatever. Before Giant Quinn was taking on Robert Stone. Robert Stone said he could do anything before starting to dance in the ring. Giant Quinn was in the ring, and he was doing it too. It was all very weird. They were singing Shawn Michaels' theme. The Stone then landed the first hit, stopping Quinn's performance. Quinn then took the fight to Stone and hit several moves, including a jackhammer for the win. This was very weird. I'm going to give it a 5 out of 10. Poor Giant. Before we got Legado del Fantasma and Kyle O'Reilly versus Von Wagner. O'Reilly and Wild kicks off the match. Wagner and Mendoza were tagged in early on. And then after the break, O'Reilly rushed in off the hot tag and took Mendoza to the corner before Lopez ran interference. Carlin tagged Wagner in as he hit Wilder with a flat runner from near fall. Wagner then hit an angle slam before tagging Carlin. O'Reilly hit the pinfall run before it was broken up by Mendoza. Carl tagged Wagner in, however, distraction caused Wagner to roll up by Wilde to pick up the win. Kind of inconsequential, but the match was decent enough. So I'll give it a 6 out of 10. Four great wrestlers, what can you say? But moving on then, next up, Andre Chase was out and choked at the sound guy before addressing the fact that people were calling him a coward. Chase was going to treat it as a teachable moment and prove that he wasn't afraid of putting out an open challenge. Braun Breaker was the one to answer it. Chase was hit with a suplex over the ropes as the match began. Andre began running and Breaker chased him down before Chase took control in the ring and got a headlock. Breaker deadlifted Chase and tossed him back into the mat before picking up the win. After the match, Breaker said he failed to win the title last week. Breaker left NXT saying he's not going to give up on champ or whatever. You just lost though. This was all very strange. 5 out of 10. Before moving on, Living Out with Lash Legends was back as she reviewed everything Halloween costumes from last week before inviting Tony D'Angelo to the show. The NXT superstar producer Mark Disappear was the last time he refused Tony on the show. This time the same producer allowed him. Tony somehow knew everyone in Mark's family and took shots at him. Tony then let him go and took shots at pretty much on everyone in the NXT roster. Tony D'Angelo's just great. Before he got Solo Sikoa versus Jeep Rama, basically a squash. Sikoa hit the hip attack and called a very reminiscent of Rikishi. Hit the splash and picked up the win on his debut. Really enjoyed this. I definitely think he's going to be a big star one day. Before moving on, Grayson Waller took on Bella. LA Knight was on commentary. Bella was dominating early on, hit big kicks on the ropes before locking in hold on the mat. Waller got outside and continues to break Bella down. Grayson was then dropped from the top rope as that distracted him. Bella then picked up the win off the big kick. I'll give it 6 out of 10. Just advancing that storyline, nothing special, but it was perfectly passable. Hudson and Grimes were then still going at it on the paper table, and it looked like Grimes' winning streak was coming to an end, but he had a full house winning the pot and cleaning Duke out for good. Before Tommaso Ciampa was out next, and when Braun Breaker was expected to win, and no one gave Ciampa the memo, is what he was going on about. Mello and Trent were then walking out, And the new NXT North American champion said that Ciampa had to take a back seat because he was a new face. They started flying before Ciampa walked out and Gargano made his entrance. They had an intense face-off. Oh, I know I'm not supposed to say this, but just give me that match one more time. I miss them so much. Even if Gargano's leaving, just give it to me one more time. But yeah, on the whole, the promo was decent enough. It was a perfectly passable segment, to be honest. And then next up, it was Dexter Lumis and Johnny Gargano versus Trick Williams and Carmelo Hayes in the main event. Lumis and Trick kicked off the match, and Melo and Trick were not confident as they traded tags. Lumis blocked a kick from Melo and tagged Gargano in, and it looked like Trick and Melo were a little out of their league. Gargano got a slingshot spear and tagged in Lumis for a tandem drop kick. Back after break, Trick was tagged in and Hayes got a near fall on Gargano. Lumis came in and took back control of the match. Gargano and Lumis hit double team moves before Dexter had Melo in a hold. Trick then hit Lumis with a toe with a shoe to the head. Gargano took Williams out with a dive before Melo turned it around and hit a top rope leg drop on Dexter for the win. I'm going to let it 7 out of 10. Yeah, this was a really fun match and the right result for me too. Overall this week, NXT gets a 6 out of 10. Yeah, it wasn't a great episode of NXT, but you know, it was perfectly passable. Some of the booking decisions they did make were kind of strange, like Bron Baker losing. But yeah, on the whole, it was an okay episode of NXT, but still some stuff to work on. But anyway guys, that's it for the video. Thanks very much for watching. Remember to like, share, subscribe. Let me know your thoughts, comments down below. Follow me on Twitter, link description below for daily wrestling news. And subscribe to my channel on the screen right now. I would greatly appreciate it. Thanks very much for watching. Peace!